Hey, now I'm Hashi and you're Seth. That's beautiful.
We did it.
We did it, everybody. Flawless. How is everybody doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Love you.
So
Yeah.
today, sorry, now that you've got the Streamlabs, I'm like expecting you to do all the host work by accident.
Oh no, I don't plan to do anything other than press the record button.
All right, well
but
then I'll be silly.
no. Yes.
Oh, go ahead, man. Your turn. We're doing great.
We're doing great.
Two.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Last week we had some fun trying to recreate a monster from Attack the Block. We ran out our time a little bit trying to ambitiously tackle something that was kind of crazy. So we're thinking that today we're going to keep it simple. We're going to stick to After Effects, and we're going to let Seth be in the steering wheel for be behind the steering wheel for After Effects.
Yeah. So this week we were trying to figure out. We were Gashi and I found ourselves. Do you want to tell them what we were Googling?
Well, I started with a Google new movies, I think, or something like that.
I thought it was movie news.
Movie news is what it was. So I Googled movie news to see what all the kids were talking about. So it was
Turns
a
out
little unsuccessful.
we can't hear them.
Yes.
We've lost that frequency in our ear to be able to hear the kids.
Mm-hmm. So we went with deciding to just try to chat about anything that we recognized wandering around the interwebs. And one of the interesting things that was coming up is there's that new Fast movie. And full disclosure, I have never seen a single one of the Fast movies. So you can let me know if I'm missing out down there. I don't know.
You are missing out down there.
I'm missing out.
The thing about the Fast movies, especially Fast 5, who's calling me? I don't care about you. Especially Fast 5 is that Fast 5 is like a masterpiece in dumb fun. And wow,
Yeah,
they're calling my watch now. Good show. The Fast movies are wonderful, but the thing that I think that really sparked our interest this week was this idea that this rumor going around that people seem to be believing inexplicably, which is that the Fast and the Furious universe there's a crossover being planned between the Jurassic World universe and the Fast and Furious universe, which makes zero sense and probably is not going to happen.
I think it makes a lot of sense because there are scenes in Fast and Furious movies, and there were also many scenes in that Jurassic World series. So, if you just cut those together, you're good.
That's all you got to do. So that's what we're going to do today.
Yes.
Hashi and I we've scoured the internet looking for the perfect plates from the Fast movies. We've watched all of them, every single one of them from start to finish, and we've watched all the Jurassic films again from start to finish, and we think we found the perfect few plates. By start to finish, I mean we found some clips and trailers online and are going to pulled a few things from there. Now, we've played with this a little bit ahead of time, but overall, we're going to be trying this kind of from scratch for the first time here. Basically, we're hopefully going to be making the good version of this for the first time here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up one of these aforementioned clips. So, again, I have never seen any of these movies. I imagine they have much to do with cars driving around and avoiding things and dinosaurs, whatnot. And so we came across this scene. Let me see if I can successfully pull that up. You could probably hear that, but I'm probably not displaying it on screen.
I don't know if we hear or see. Let's see.
Let's see. All right. Okay, exciting. All right, there's a scene. We're resizing it live. Okay, we got this scene here. Just gonna turn that down a little bit. So this scene goes on for some time. Lots of action, lots of trains, planes, and automobiles, and one of the most fantastic endings right here.
One of the most realistic endings in cinema history, I think. Naturally, the only thing to do in the situation is to drive your car completely off of a cliff.
Look at it. I've done this before.
I mean, the windows are down, so they're safe. And they jump. And
good.
That's the shot right there. I think we need a mosasaur. I think there's a lot of options, but I feel like the pacing, if you jog back a bit, because we don't want to see their death, their obvious, inevitable death that would inevitably happen in that moment. But that could do it, but I really think the payoff, the punchline,
should be
would happen on
right
this
there,
one.
Because there's a very similar scene that I remember from that other dinosaur movie, the one with
from all the trailers.
From the trailers, and it looked something like. Let me see if I can find that scene here.
I keep wanting to make a dinosaur joke about Vin Diesel, but I also don't want to hate. I don't want to make people think that this is a safe place to hate on the Fast universe, because it's not, and it never will be.
That's true. So here we have this lovely trailer moment of them feeding a shark to the dinosaur to prove that Spielberg is no longer at the helm of these action movies anymore. The dinosaurs have taken control, and it's beautiful.
And bite. So those two shots really are what I need, because I think we want to go with the aforementioned overhead shot where they're falling.
The classic, the trailer shot, this guy.
So we want that one combined with the overhead of Vin and Paul falling. They're pals. We call them by first names. Mainly because I don't remember Paul Walker's characters' names. Dom and Paul Walker are what we refer to them as.
I love it.
And so they're falling. And then we have, in the Fast clip, there's it's more of a straight on, but a long lens that's seeing them. It's on sticks, probably tilting, following them, falling toward the water. So that shot, and here we go. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Here we want the overhead. We want the dinosaur coming up like this, and then that one right there, we want the dinosaur. Oh, I can do it over the screen right there.
Right. It was so close.
That's what we want.
Yes.
All right.
Amazing. Okay.
I downloaded these plates. They're in the Dropbox, so you have access. Well, I downloaded these clips, so you have access to them also.
Excellent.
And I say you have access to them also because I don't want to do all the roto alone. This is the rare occasion where I don't have to do it alone.
Roto. All right. Okay. What do you want? What do you want from? Where do you want to start from, and what do you want?
Well, let's switch over to After Effects and let's take a look. Let's bring in our files real quick.
All right. I'm going to switch you over there. All right. So we got
this week. Here we go. Jurassic scenes and Fast 5 scenes.
Beautiful.
So let's start with the bottom plates, the main background plate. I guess we also have to decide right now if we want to do this in 2391 or 16:9 scaled.
What are they both?
Great question. I know that Jurassic's not 2391, so it's like not even 185. It's some weird.
Split the difference because we filmed some of it in IMAX.
I think that's the actual reason. I think the public reason was dinosaurs are tall.
I mean, Jurassic Park is in that format, right?
Jurassic Park is in 185. I don't believe it's in.
I thought it was taller than usual for that reason, but I don't.
Oh yeah, 185 is 16:9. But this is we want to be 239 or 235. But I could look it up. We actually know the numbers and refer to it. And there's probably people watching this. If it's anything like last week, there's probably people watching this who did these shots that we're about to rip from YouTube and start cutting up.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Let's just take a moment
Let's
to
do
remember
it.
Paul Walker and how amazing.
Like, look at
He
that.
was.
Look at that. And you know what? If you haven't seen it, what is it called? Doesn't Paul Walker, doesn't his soul inhabit an animatronic T-Rex in a movie?
You're thinking of Tammy the T-Rex, or Tammy and the T-Rex.
Tammy and the T-Rex. So that's perfect.
Yes. There is a very graphic R-rated version, I believe. So beware not to watch this. If you're like Hashi and I, and you have children everywhere, hiding at all places in the house,
Tammy
just
and
beware
the
that.
T-Rex.
Yeah,
So,
pretty hilarious trailer to watch, and there's a really great "How Did This Get Made" episode of it as well.
oh man.
All right, so this is what we want. I opt for, let's just get hacky and let's. Okay, look, we're not doing this for IMAX screens. We're not doing this to be projected on a, we're not doing this for even watching on a television. We're doing this for the GIF. For the meme.
The meme.
So we're gonna the lulz. We are going. Therefore, the lulz don't deserve quality. They don't need. They don't need it to be in 4K or HD or anything. So we're gonna do a horrible thing, and let's wait and get to the horrible thing. First, I'm gonna set an endpoint for this plate. God, so good. I'm gonna grab both those shots.
It's perfect, and that's perfectly content-aware, fillable shot too.
It is, but I kind of want to. I don't know if I want a content-aware fill it. I kind of want to, just for the purpose, just because people are watching. Yeah, I just want to put a hand in front of it, just composite. No, I'll show you in a second what I'm going to try to do, and it's probably going to be more work than Content Affair would have Content Affair fill. All right, let's create a new plate. A new comp. All right, before things get out of hand, real quick here, I'm gonna name this. Is there a name for this crossover? Fast and the Furious.
All right.
We should spend the entirety of the show thinking of names.
People, submit some stuff.
Oh, submit some names for this comp. We'll wait.
Fast and the Furious, Triassian, I don't know. All right. So what are you doing with these shots?
All right, I'm gonna do Jurassic and the Furious.
Jurassic and the Furious.
It's not a good idea, but it's what we're doing.
Perfect.
And I'm gonna make sure to name it main comp. Actually, that's a terrible naming structure. I can't even see what it is. Main comp.
Just to say this above shot.
Main comp. Stuff. Let me call it main comp, Hashi. You can do your all caps nonsense later. I'm gonna do this now. So I'm going to keep this main comp right here. No one's going to mess with it, except me right now when I mess with it. Let's split it up real quick.
All right. If you're just joining us, Seth and I were excited about the news that it's possible the Fast movies exist in the same universe as the Jurassic World universe, and that a crossover is inevitable over at the Universal Studios.
So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna pre-comp. Oh crap. Well, I'll just name the pre-comp. Here we go. Pre-comp, I'm gonna adjust composition duration to the time span of the selected layers.
I love that new checkbox.
I do too. We say new. It came out like 10 years ago probably or something, but it is. If you've been doing this for a long time, it's still a wonderful thing. All right. Shot 1 and shot 2. Now split up. Shot 1. Let's start by doing horrible things. We're going to scale this up until we lose the black.
Oh, genius.
And now we just lose. Come on, where's Vin? We're going to...
Yeah, for YouTube essayists, that's the movie clips watermark scale.
Wait, do we want to?
How long does the shot go?
Shot is. It's 116. Yeah, star code is 0. So
that's not too many frames.
But I'm wondering if.
Are you going to pan and scan it?
Maybe. I mean, because there's a long period of time that we don't see anything happen, and during that time, it's not like the dinosaur's not going to be out of the water yet. So,
because they'd have to. You have to know them first.
I did the opposite of what I was supposed to do.
Seth is keyframing. He's doing his own home pan and scan.
This is good because it'll actually reveal the dinosaur.
Oh, that's nice. Whenever you can pan over and reveal something, it saves you so much roto and
you know
headache.
what? So we just got Michael just notified us of the title that we're absolutely naming this episode already. Hang on. Must go fast. I'm going to keep it in main comp, but Must Go Faster and Furiouser, I think, is going to be...
Must Go Faster. That is brilliant. Who can we shout out for that?
But I think Must Go Faster and Furiouser, or Must Go Faster and More Furious. From Philip Barlow. Thank you, Philip Barlow.
Thank you, Philip.
Old Philly Bar. His friends know him as Philly Bar. His enemies know him. Hashi, you finish it. It's the game we're playing.
As Phil.
What am I doing right now? So I don't need to retime this. I'm trying to think if I need to pre-comp this for any reason. I definitely want to keep it. I want to keep the motion, but it has its... Oh, God. I just complicated things. It has its own motion. It's doing its own pan. So
you've got its pan and your pan. It's like when you try to stack two nonstick pans in a cabinet. You're not meant to do it. It ruins both pans.
I'm going to hold off on pre-comping this. So right now I need the dinosaur. Well, actually, I'm going to need these guys rotoed, but I just did a whole bunch of scaling and cropping and
let's see.
Why don't you go ahead? Can you roto them from the original thing?
I can roto them from the original. I'm going to do that here in the background. So
bare minimum, can you... Well, no, don't crop it. I'm trying to think of how I can...
I think I could just do it full frame, and then you just keep yours full frame, and then I swap it in and whatever.
Well, yeah, but like you want to crop the shot from beginning and end to begin. I'm sorry, not crop it, trim it, don't you?
Trim it. I mean, yeah, I'll have it trimmed. Whoops.
Otherwise, it's going to be a bunch of stuff, and then you're going to have to. Yeah, you do your thing. Give it to me, and I'll make it work.
All right.
Designers.
Beautiful.
Let's
go faster.
I need a
beautiful suggestion, everybody.
Let's get my dinosaur. Oh, just missed it. There's also a funny version of this that could be cut where the dinosaur never shows up.
That's a good cut. If someone wants to make that cut, share it with us. We'll.
Fun tip. If any of you have a time machine and get to go back to the 80s or 90s, to go back to the 90s, in the heyday of Blockbuster Video, why is my audio preview on? I'm like a monster. Here we go. If you want to go back to the 90s, if you're able to, and rent VHS tapes, put a little piece of Scotch tape over the safety tab. You can tape whatever you want over that video. But more fun if you have a deck-to-deck editing setup, which I had access to in high school. You can do an audio insert, and you can replace whatever music is in the end credits of said rented movie with whatever song you want.
I had not thought of that. That is...
Yes, we returned amazing. Braveheart with Staying Alive in the end credits. Never got in trouble for it either, and we also never got the payoff of hearing a response.
That's a hard. You did that for the world, and just set that off.
One we didn't do but wanted to was Few Good Men, I Want the Truth, and then just cut to like the jury listening. Never actually. The idea was just to get rid of any kind of climactic. I like how I'm telling these stories and I'm moving the things around on screen so it looks like I'm talking while working, but I accomplished nothing during that story.
Absolutely.
So it's time for Hashi to talk.
Yeah. So who in the chat was around for renting VHS movies and know what VHS tapes are? Anybody? No one.
Hashi, I have to paint this shark out. I just realized.
To paint out a shark.
I have to content aware fill the shark.
You know what's funny? Like years ago,
dirty,
I have painted out that shark from this shot before, but
What have you not painted out from what? Like, I mean,
It's
what
it's
movie clip have you not touched?
if you need something to do at 3 a.m., find a shot with a thing in it and paint the thing out, and then you have a shot without said thing, and it's really lovely. And
Have there been any shots that you have messed with for social media that you actually worked on originally? Like
it gets into a slightly muddy category there, where the people who helped make it will know that I am the leak or the sharer of things. So I think a little while ago I shared this. I was going to have a chance to work with Edgar Wright on this movie called Me and My Shadow at DreamWorks.
Oh yeah.
I spent years on it developing Shadow World and doing some cool stuff, and then we decided it wouldn't make as much as a Puss in Boots 2. So
you decided, you and Katzenberg,
yeah, we crunched some numbers, and
you and Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jeffrey is notoriously great at predicting the success of in future endeavors. And yeah, sadly, we worked for a really long time on this movie that had a whole setting of Shadow World, and it was created entirely in After Effects with 2D animation, and it was a very, very exciting combination. We had Flash animators doing background cycle characters. We had really talented 2D animators doing main character animations. Some of them every now and then make it onto the Twitterverse for people to see. I tried sharing a reel of Shadow World that I had made, and it got taken down. So
someone else shared it at some point, because I've seen it and you retweet it.
I think so. Yeah, it's out there.
Much like the truth.
All right. So what are you doing to that shark there?
All right. I am gonna try content aware filling it out. That stupid mask tracker. If that even is your real name.
The mask tracker is phenomenal if you have something like
no desire to get an accurate track.
A high contrast object from a tripod that you filmed, like panning by it, like if you need to grab the edges of a for sale sign in a yard or something. It's very specific.
By the way, fun thing I didn't know until recently that everyone here probably knew, which is that you're working with a mask, you're like, I want to rotate it and scale all of this. Well, just double click on any of those points and you can do just that.
Look at that. I love
look at that
transform.
All right, let's subtract
some extreme garbage.
And we're done. It's gone.
It's gone. Look at that. I like it.
All right.
Let's play it. So
we're going to content aware fill it, but the thing is, it's going to look bad.
Yes.
Let's try it. Let's see how bad it looks.
Yeah, fill works in interesting ways. So
wow, I didn't save this project.
Yeah, so content aware fill is a very, very amazing tool. It uses the Adobe whatchamacallit, not artificial intelligence, but Sensei.
But real intelligence.
Their machine learning fueled algorithm. And it's very good at trying to predict, use motion vectors to predict where things are going and what they're doing. And so it can clone stamp out things if you provide it an alpha hole like this. Now I see you clipped out the black on top and bottom of screen, which is a good idea.
Yeah, because I cropped it at first, then I was like, you know what, I might want that information. So I knew I had to take out the black bars as well, because otherwise it was going to start bringing that information and that visual stuff into the fill. Oh, that looks bad. So here's what I'm going to do. Oh, it's...
Yeah, what's unique though, and something kind of fun to do if you ever want, is if there's any movie with a moving camera, but it's in letterbox, you do just what you've done here, which is crop out the two black bars and try to see what content aware fill can do to fill in them. So like the top and the bottom of screen look all right, all things considered. If you'd given them a reference
I feel like
frame.
usable. Yeah.
I mean, the shark is pure garbage.
What's funny, yeah, shark looks like garbage. But the bottom of what's funny is the bottom of this looks funny. It looks like an effect where like, I'm coming through the letterbox. I'm gonna get you. Like,
oh, the classic 3D movie trailer gag.
Yeah. All right. So here's what I'm gonna reference frames, which I didn't do for a while at first when Content Aware Fill first came out, but it's wonderful. So I'm just going to start at the beginning. I'm going to do create reference frame, and it automatically opens Photoshop, which I need to change that share over to Photoshop.
Amazing.
Can you guys see my Photoshop now?
I see it.
All right. But do I feel it? So I'm going to, this little thing, you showed me this the other day, select pixels, which then selects the alpha of this layer. And I just found, because Content Aware Fill in Photoshop doesn't act like After Effects does, where it just fills in any holes that are already there. It relies on a mask.
Yes, and it's a still frame, so it knows its sample pool is very straightforward. So
I'm going to select and mask just to give it a little more. I'm going to shift the edge because I found I get weird like holes in the edges if I don't do this. So now it's got a tiny bit of bleed.
So what did you use to shift the edge there?
Oh, I made sure I select pixels, then I selected inverse. Then I went to select and mask, which is where a lot of these tools like feathering and the shift edge and stuff are hidden. And I turned this shift edge up. Now I'm not going to do it here because I already did it, but shift edge is turned up. Now, Content Aware Fill.
Beautiful.
Photoshop's Content Aware Fill is so fun because it looks so freaking good most of the time.
It's honestly pretty great. One of the first things I did, and it's still fun to do, is creating multiplanes out of photos. I think my very first paid VFX-ish gig for anything professional was doing multiplanes. And it's where it's a classic kid stays in the picture effect, if people even know what that is anymore.
Real quick, I'm just gonna share what I'm doing before I switch over to After Effects. I'm gonna save this in Photoshop, and then I go back over to After Effects. And this reference frame is now in the timeline for that frame, and it's there. And Content Aware Fill can use that information to fill in the gaps. And I actually am going to go through random points in this and just do some reference frames like here, 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 and then let it fill in the gaps, and it will be a slightly more accurate looking. Yeah, so I've got a reference frame at the end. I've got a reference frame at the beginning. I'm going to go through and just do some reference frames all through the middle.
Excellent. And again, what Seth is doing here is he's trying to paint out this shark from this shot. And to do that, basically, he started with a garbage mat around everything, tried running Content Aware Fill on that as it was, and that was not enough. So he's using the built-in reference frame tool, which is something that allows you to click on reference frame in After Effects. It'll automatically open up a PSD in Photoshop where you can use the still frame version of Content Aware Fill to do a first pass. Like, look at that. Can you turn that fill on and off again? It's very beautiful.
Oh yeah, totally. Here, let's see. Once it applies, I'll show you.
So without and with, that's a remarkably good fill.
Hit save and bring it back over to After Effects. So now I've got 3 reference frames in here. The last one's not so great, but let me maybe go right here and see if I can create a decent one.
Thank you all for the awesome comments and support.
So we're going through a really hard time right now. Our live stream.
My internet wasn't working.
So we had probably 7 viewers before, and now we're at 3.
Hey, that's good. Those are both numbers. If you take a 3 and put it against the mirror,
hey, as long as they're numbers, that's our goal. Ooh, that's funky. I don't know how this works. What can I do to make this better?
I mean, you could
I can just start clicking things until something breaks.
you could click on things. I would grab a frame, one of your frames earlier, and just scale up his nose to there, or something. But also that's a lot of work, and it's possible that things will.
Why do I want to do that?
Well, there are cars that are going to fall in front of this, right?
One car. Well, unless you count Vin Diesel.
Right. Much appreciation to anyone watching this at 11 p.m. Way to go. Thank you for staying up late with us.
Are you saying that just in case, or I'm guessing someone said so?
No, I can actually see the chat now.
Is anyone staying up at 12 or 1 or 2 or even 3?
4.
Yeah, why don't I just accept this for what it is?
I like that.
Unless I click this. What does it look like now? I'm going to go with that version.
How many of you in the chat, when you go into Photoshop, open up their templates that come up in the splash screen by accident because you're trying to double click on the gray to open stuff? Is that just me?
What does happen a lot lately is I'm like, I think I want to use this tool. No, stop telling me what it is. And I'm sure I can turn that off. But
probably, but like the time it would take to figure that out.
You know what they should do is instead of showing me what a polygon lasso tool is when I'm just hovering over the polygon lasso tool, bring up a thing that shows me how to turn off this thing that tells me what a polygon lasso tool is.
That's a good idea.
It should come up and say, here's how to turn this off.
Yes, someone from Adobe's got to be here. Just put a little X on that box too.
Oh, by the way, we love Adobe. We make little jokes, but we love and adore Adobe, and we wouldn't have money without Adobe. So
yeah, Adobe has been effectively providing me work for the last 25 years. It's absurd.
Yep. All right, how much time? It's 12:40. Okay, I'm using up all my time painting out this shark. That's ridiculous.
But yeah, I mean, removing stuff from shots is a very important thing to be able to do. And like no joke earlier when I was mentioning that sometimes it's just fun to remove things from things. It's actually a very good practice if you just want to sharpen up different types of VFX skills. If you haven't seen it, there is a really exciting cheap tricks based on the Onward movie where I go extensively into doing the most insane paint out you can imagine using After Effects as the interface for it. Those are great reference frames.
I'm going to create just a few more and then
love it
and move on.
So
because I'm going to have to look at this thing for a little while, like while we're working, and if I have to stare at it, I want it to look nice.
Absolutely.
It's nice as a weird chopped up mosasaur can that's been deprived its lunch.
Mm-hmm. See, some people don't go into Photoshop that often, and yeah, there are. I agree with the sentiment of, I think Ren from Corridor coined this, but he loves doing his photoshopping in After Effects.
No, I do too, 100%. And my friend Zach Dixon and I talk about this all the time. Zach is, his animation company IV Studios based here in Nashville. Just throwing a quick shout out about Zach. He and I both admittedly use After Effects as our Photoshop because it's the user interface that we know and understand, that we're most comfortable with. But when it comes to content aware fill, I really rely on Photoshop's reference frame.
They are very good. I mean, those are very high quality looking frames. This is a good version.
I think I can try this here. Let's generate fill.
All right. What settings did you use there on content aware fill?
Well, I'll tell you. Alpha expansion is at 0. Fill method's at object. And look forward. Yeah, I'd love to tell you all about the fun of surface fill method, but I think Hashi's going to do that later on in another thing. Range, work area, and then I just click generate fill layer, and now I'm sitting here.
Beautiful. And that's analyzing pretty darn quick. And look at that. We're through, and now you're moving on to rendering stuff, right? Hey.
You know it.
It's pretty good. Here comes, oh my gosh.
Doop, 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 doop.
Yeah.
All right. Oh.
Oh, man.
It looks so gross. Why did?
You know what? There's a.
I don't care. I'm gonna do it again.
That's perfect. We're doing this fast and furious, Seth.
Yeah, definitely. Select and select pixels. Where the heck did you go? Select my pixels. Select my inverse. Oh, you're not even seeing this. Share Photoshop. You gotta see this, right? Select and mask. Shift edge. Edit. Content aware fill. Hooah!
Look at it.
All right.
Beautiful.
And hooah again. I said, there we go. Save. Back over to After Effects. Now, how's the roto going? Have you gotten to work on that?
I was freaking out over the
live stream dying.
The live stream dying, and now I'm scared to do anything.
I tell you what, I can do the roto. While this is doing this, I'm going to do the roto.
See,
so,
if you act helpless long enough, Seth Worley will do your roto for you.
I'm gonna.
Let's see. Do we ever use Edge Blend?
Edge Blend in Super Comp?
I mean, in Super Comp, definitely.
Oh, by this time, I was afraid to turn this layer on or do anything while it was analyzing. So let's see.
It's always exciting to turn
that stupid one right there. That's where I'm getting pissed off. All right, almost.
Would you say you're getting furious?
You know what? I will say I'm getting furious. Because
Perfect.
Hashi, you're doing it. You're hosting. You're doing really well. Let's see. Select inverse. Select and mask. You're chilling, as the kids say.
I am. I'm mesmerized by all this automation happening. These computer brains doing things.
Automation. Yes, that's exactly what's happening. As I
is manually
automation. Selecting. I hope that we get something out of this, because it's like, if you are better at narrating what you're doing and I go into my head and start getting OCD and fussing with everything and forget what I was saying. But if I do talk, I just tell dumb stories and forget what I was supposed to be talking about. Oh, it cloned the dinosaur a bit. Whatever. There's no time.
It doesn't matter. It's another part of the dinosaur. All right, I'm going to try to fix something on your screen for just a second. So bear with me, everybody. And we're back. All right, there we go. I think.
Did we go anywhere?
We might have gone somewhere to viewers. You may not have seen anything on your end, Seth.
Oh, okay.
But now I can see my After Effects, which was hidden behind your Zoom window. You see, it's like a cluttered desk in here, but it's a cluttered desktop of multiple monitors with After Effects and zooms and all the exciting stuff. And
weird UI numbers and math graphics going off. Okay, this looks terrible. I think lose this reference frame and try again.
Interesting.
Is there anything up here I could? Yeah, no.
Not really. Turning up the alpha expansion does do some interesting things, because if you have a hole like this shark that you cut out and you have it right at 0, sometimes the fill layer will, it's a perfect fit, but there'll be this slightly semi-transparent halo around it. So I almost always bump that up to 1 at least. And if you turn the alpha expansion up higher than that, then it also uses the motion data from anything in that expansion area, but knows it's filling in the hole, if that makes sense. That didn't make sense. I'll explain this better in a tutorial coming out next week.
Michael did suggest we should try possibly doing, I don't want to spend this entire thing painting on a shark, but surface or edge blend mode. What do you think?
Neither is going to work. You could, though. Yeah. You could. I think, the object is the closest we're going to get. But the other thing you could do, and I think that now that I'm seeing this, I'm having flashbacks to when I did this. I just grabbed the whole left side of frame and made a round feather mask around that splash and put it in front of the
Oh,
shark.
crap. Yes. Why am I trying to do things like the good, like,
What are you? Industrial light and magicians?
Almost got there. This is rendering. I can't stop it. I have to let it finish.
Yeah, and Carter also suggests you could just Luma key some of the splash and paste it over the warped spots.
Oh my gosh, that looks so weird. Okay. I'm going to undo and bring back my original object version. And then...
See, I felt like you were very close at one point.
I felt like I was.
Good enough for rock and roll, but
I think we're good enough for rock and roll right now. It's just this little stretch right here that's not. And I think you're absolutely right about how I could
just grab another part of frame, and or clone stand. You could use spot clone tracker. I think Michael suggested that a bit ago.
Yeah, why the hell not? Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to actually...
All right, what's the plan? We're gonna... Are you grabbing water to replace that weird splash area?
Yeah, and I'm gonna quickly dip this. Oh God, shoot. All right, no, nix what I just said I was gonna do. Let me dupe this Jurassic plate. I'm gonna turn off all the masks.
Do you see why?
Yeah.
That's Michael commenting down in the chat there. Michael is our silent partner that makes it look like the amount of competence we had today was entirely supported by an artificial structure of Michael making this into an actual thing. He's doing all of our amazing promotion and helping moderate chats and do all those kinds of things, and you'll have a chance to meet him next week, everybody.
Yes, I will be at the beach next week, and Michael will be filling in for me, and it's going to be very, very fun.
We'll be at the beach, driving cars into...
Off cliffs.
Have you ever done cliff diving before?
With a car?
Yeah, the car, scooter, vulnerable human
I've
body.
never done cliff diving before, no.
You should get into it, man. See, I can just tell people they should get into anything, and then it works.
You don't ever have to have actually done it. I hate that this is taking the entire show to do this, but you know what? I've almost got something here.
It's the crux of our show is to dive into the part that is the hardest for a really long time. All right,
and then we're going to see how quickly I can do the other one.
Absolutely. So for anyone just joining us, we are reacting to the amazing news that Jurassic World and Fast and the Furious may coexist in the same Fastiverse of exciting Dino World. Because, you never see, Paul Walker and...
a dinosaur.
And a dinosaur in the same place, which stands to reason,
You picked a wrong cast member, bud. Paul Walker, he's not alive anymore. Much like the dinosaurs.
Much like the dinosaurs. Ugh.
Which, by the way, I
tasteful.
love Paul Walker. I mean him no disrespect.
Lovely. Wow, two beings brought back to life by VFX.
Dinosaurs and Paul Walker.
These are just facts. I'm putting no spin on this. Just facts. Hey, that looks like a dinosaur. Hey, you know what would hide those janky edges? Is letterboxing.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm not gonna. It's yeah. That's there as some helpful bleed, but I'm not gonna use it.
Yes.
Hang on. I'm gonna. Where does that good one start? There. So I'm gonna opacity down to 0. Again, by the way, this is why I don't record my tutorials live, because this is what happens.
It's beautiful.
Okay. It's terrible, but you know what? It's fine. It's going to cover up. Yes, Michael's right. We're going to cover up this stuff with falling cars and humans. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pre-comp all this garbage. Make sure I don't get the fast plate.
That's amazing. And just to add to the suspense of the moment, I am definitely not replacing the batteries in my mouse because they just went out.
My Lord, your life is falling apart. Like your house is on fire. And
this is my constant story at work. Is my world is constantly falling apart. But my battery collection is.
Oh, by the way, those janky edges go away. Well, not the top edges, but the janky edges right here kind of go away on full.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, it's fast plate time. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by bringing in this dinosaur here.
Lovely.
With a... I'm going to start by masking it. No, I'm not. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something even more fun. I'm going to double-click with the rectangle mask set to rectangle, double click it so it selects the entirety of the thing. I'm going to feather it up to maybe like in the 180s.
Mm-hmm.
And then because it's on the edge, obviously
so you're getting
that
some bleed.
feather looks, terrible. So I'm going to have to whatever I set my feather to, I will set my mask expansion to negative that. So negative 184. And now I'm actually going to drag this up here, drag this down here, and...
Wait, whoa. It just got real. I mean, just seeing... Just the ghost of...
Vin Diesel back there. Don't worry, he's alive. You can make jokes alive. With him. He'll be right there. And then let's just see what happens if I parent him to the plate here. So there is movement, but I also need to add some. So if I...
Look how much the comp is coming to life. It's remarkable.
I think he needs to be even further over here, to be honest.
Wow.
All right, so
now
real quick...
Now is when you would have that roto would have come in handy, right?
So here's the roto would have come in handy. I would key this, but I'm looking at this right now and I'm seeing this right here is keyable, but this is going to really mess me up, and I'm going to have to roto Paul's leg anyway, and it could get real janky real fast. And I kind of with RotoBrush 2, since in existence, I feel like it's just going to be easier if I. So I'm going to pre-comp this. I kept a duplicate of it down here so I can have the movement to parent to, but then I duped it, brought it up here, and I'm going to fast roto, which is exactly what it's going to be.
Yes, fast and furious roto. If you've never used RotoBrush 2, if you used RotoBrush 1 and then gave up on it and thought this is stupid, I urge you to try RotoBrush 2. RotoBrush 2 is exactly what you hoped RotoBrush 1 would be. Uses look what Seth is doing right now. He is drawing little guide lines on top of Vin Diesel, and the computer is trained to look at pixels that it guesses are Vin Diesel and pixels that it guesses are not Vin Diesel, and with a tremendous amount of fidelity higher than the previous RotoBrush used to have. So watch this. So you've gone to the end frame where they're all visible in frame, and now you're stepping backwards. And watch as Sensei tracks remarkably. It's nailing it. I mean, it is hard to keep your eyes off.
Calling me Sensei, or is that the name of?
Sensei is the AI, is the Adobe AI. Sensei.
You're not calling me Sensei.
Behind this. No. But I'll call you Champ.
That was a bad idea what I just did. I really should have just left it alone.
anytime you can pause
Although,
and add
no, I was right.
additional guide strokes for this. And the beautiful thing about this is RotoBrush also has a wonderful setting to enable motion blur.
Yes, it does, and that's going to save our ass, much like I'm trying to do to Vin Diesel right now, is save his ass.
Wow. If we didn't already have Must Go Faster, saving Vin Diesel's ass, it would be a pretty phenomenal subtitle for this affair.
As long as some of that roto is on like the car and stuff, I'm fine with what's happening here. I just...
Amazing. Oh, hey, Action VFX.
Hey guys, is that Rodolfo? Who is that?
Action VFX posted a really useful keying tutorial this week with a really nifty tip on trying to key fine, bright blonde hairs individually away from a green screen and preserve that amazing fidelity. All right. Well, what did that freeze button do, Seth?
I'm freezing. I'm freezing Vin, and then I'm going to freeze the car after I roto it, and then Paul's leg. And if there's time, I'm gonna do a little magic to make that dust that's coming off the car come back as well.
And that sounds beautiful.
Let's see, 1 o'clock. We're doing all right.
Doing all right.
This is fast Vin. Let's say Vin roto. Roto.
You know what? I'm going to take a quick peek through some of my Action VFX clips, because that car trail looks an awful lot like one of the dust fall elements to me. Should you want to enhance it?
Oh, true.
Whenever you can
use... if it was the actual element.
Yeah, if you're ever going fast, look at the magic. Okay.
Just go furious.
All right. So what is your result right now, Seth? You have you're in the RotoBrush interface. I'm
about to roto the car. My result right now with Vin is...
Look at this, ladies and gentlemen.
So it's gonna work real well once I start color matching the dinosaur to the water, and it's so absurd.
Wow. Now, full disclosure, as I do in all of my tutorials, I am red-green colorblind. And so I've chosen a heck of a profession where I cannot color balance. I can't color grade or color balance. I have to guess, or I have to wear my Enchroma lenses to try to make out colors on screen. What they do is that they shift red into a more purplish color that is less common, and your brain will think, I'm in a room with slightly blue lighting, so I'm going to pull everything back over toward red, and red will look different from green now. It's actually a very brilliant idea, but also a little bit of science there. Your eyes take anywhere from 7 to 11 minutes to refresh their vision, and so any of the videos of people putting on glasses and immediately seeing color are touching, but scientifically dubious. This is not just because I disappointed my whole family by putting them on and saying I will wait the recommended 7 to 21 minutes before crying on film.
Oh, don't you love that? Disappointing your family. I do it all the time.
It's a hobby.
Oh, see, I should have never selected that leg. I've confused the sensei now.
You know what? It's all right. It's all right because it's going to be because that leg is going to cover up this layer anyway, unless you wanted any individual control. That's the fun thing about layering up things like this. If you're doing multiple passes, it's all gonna.
Well, if I was doing this in Mocha, it would have subtracted it, and really, there's ways I could have actually subtracted the leg from the equation, but I didn't. So
I used to be so afraid of mocha. I don't know why. It felt like really, really stepping out of my comfort zone to leave After Effects. It was arriving.
Nowadays, like what I would use mocha for, like I tend to get done with Kingpin Tracker or Spot Clone, and it's not just because I work for a Red Giant, but it's because stuff pretty much does what I need it to do, and Phil, fixes things for me.
Absolutely. So the two tools that Seth was referring to, one is called Spot Clone Tracker, and that is one of our amazing Red Giant products. But actually, like working for Red Giant aside, I love the Spot Clone Tracker and the Kingpin Tracker because they have an external 2D tracker that's faster than After Effects built-in tracker. And that's immensely useful. You can track an area of the screen, just sort of like you could in Mocha, but within the After Effects interface with Kingpin. And if you just need to track something like a guy's head as they walk through frame, the Spot Clone Tracker will track across the entire duration of your thing. Faster than the video buffer will load up the video, which is really cool.
I'm trying to use motion blur for both these guys, so they
motion blur them. Now, how are you adding motion blur? Are you using the checkbox in RotoBrush, or are you doing anything extra?
Oh yeah, I just clicked it in RotoBrush just so where it can, it'll cover up some of my mistakes.
Absolutely.
And make the edges a little.
Like look at this. Look at Vin's outline is now properly feathered in the direction of his motion vectors, which is amazing.
All right, I need to clean up that dinosaur a bit, but
I don't know, man.
Where the hell did he go? What the?
Where did he go? Is the dinosaur shot shorter than that?
No, my car. Ah, crap. I did something.
I leaned over as if I could see more on your screen.
It didn't track. Don't worry about it. I extended. I cut the clip in RotoBrush, and what it did was, it's hard to explain. It was here.
It was here. It was there.
It was there. Like basically, I cut it. I trimmed the clip, but when I did that, it like earlier, it just shifted it all over here. So then I moved it all back. Then I opened it again, and it made it. It just. If you can go roll back and watch, you'll see what I did in real time. For now, freeze. We need to make in OBS Streamlabs a clip of Schwarzenegger saying freeze for whenever we click this button.
Absolutely. Yes, we got it. We got to lock that down.
There was an amazing clip. All this renders while this does freeze. There was a, and I can't find the exact clip. There's versions of it now, but they're nowhere near as funny for some reason as the first one I ever saw, which is a super cut of every time Schwarzenegger says any kind of cold-related pun in Batman and Robin, and it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life because he's shouting them half the time, and
I think it was
just like freeze, cold, winter, freeze. It's so good.
That video was, I think, the first DC property I allowed my children to see because they're otherwise very dark. But
yes,
but the super cut
video
of the freeze video is phenomenal. You know what I was going to do? I did a Sub-Zero tutorial a little bit ago, and
I think everyone knows it's blowing up the internet right now.
It's exciting. If you haven't had a look-see and you're on this channel, go do that afterward. But I had this whole plan to make this Sub-Zero versus Mr. Freeze fight, and then I just happenstance looked it up, and they fight each other in some game.
I was wondering where you got that.
I don't remember what the game is called. I don't play the video games, but it's called like Injustice. I was gonna say Immortals, but I think it's Injustice. Oh, because Injustice League, but it has Mortal Kombat character. I don't know.
And they're in it.
They're in it, and justice is served cold. But I see, as parents, I like that leg that you're preserving there.
Thanks. Well, it's the tiny little details that that distract you from the really bad work. That's what I've found. Is like, you know what? If I include the foot,
no,
you actually, for your brain forgives some of the horribleness that I'm subjecting your eyes to elsewhere in the frame.
Yeah, it's. I mean, along these lines. If you're ever doing any kind of composite, no matter what it is, put anything in the foreground. Put something in front of the main thing that you're doing. Put the edge of a fence or a tree branch that's out of focus or something like that, and just dirty up your shot a bit. And it remarkably marries things together.
Oh, watch! You'll see this thing that I was talking about. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to end the rotor brush there, but I'm also going to go ahead and just cut the clip. But you see, it moved it all the way down in here. So I'm gonna move it back there, and that's what happened. Freeze!
Wait, what shortcut did you use for that?
What?
I missed how you trimmed the layer.
Oh, I trimmed it by moving this.
Oh, yeah, I never mess with that.
I do. All right, so now Paul's leg comes in, and for that split second goes over the shark. But that's good because I might actually make this dinosaur a little bigger. Okay. And I'm actually going to bring him over a little bit. So what else do I have to do besides like super comping it now?
I think we just super comp it. I mean,
okay. There's one little thing I do want to do. Well, you know what? Let's do super comp.
The colors already match perfectly.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Select them all. RG VFX, super comp.
All right. What is super comp, Seth? We never talk about super comp.
Yeah, it's the thing that does the real work. It's my new cheat thing. Michael suggested key out the shark's blue water, but actually I have an idea, Michael, about the water, and let's just do that now. So first I want to see how much gets done if I... why is Siri talking to me?
Amazing.
By the way, Michael, when you speak to us, I hear you in the like male British Siri voice, which I know is not your voice. I've talked, I know you. But when you're during the broadcast, when you're like your Slack messages come up, I hear like Paddington's voice essentially talking to us, which I'm only telling you because I think it's a compliment.
It is. We'll be asking him to join the show next week with a British Siri accent
and a Paddington costume. So I'm going to. I've added color correction to, so in here, super comp, I'm not going to tell you all what it is. Y'all can watch. We've made videos for that. So if we weren't crushed for time, I would tell you exactly what it is. I just spent the amount of time it would take to tell you what it is, to tell you that I'm not going to tell you what it is. So on the dinosaur layer, I'm going to apply color correction, and I'm going to click match background.
Wait, what is that button? What the heck?
It matches it to the background, but I don't like what it did. I don't like it at all, man. I don't.
I think it's because of the reverse light wrap on them. Right now they would be in front of a very bright surface, and before they were in front of a very dark surface. So their edges are doing that cool thing that you used to get from that photochemical process.
You know what? I also wonder if I lose the mask real quick when I do this. No, it didn't do anything I thought it was going to do. In which case, I have another idea. And it is this.
Erode edge and light wrap.
I'm actually, watch this. Watch this. You ready?
Oh, what's he going to do?
I'm going to make it an additive layer. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
All right. Seth has switched it to an additive layer, giving it new abilities and properties within Super Comp.
Because I want to apply levels to it.
Levels.
And I'm going to dip that crap down to where it disappears in the water. Let me see if this does anything that I like. It may not. It may only do horrible things. Right now, it's only doing a horrible thing.
This is so exciting.
Well, it was when I thought it was going to work.
All right, explain what you're doing here with these levels.
Well, rather than see, I know what to do. Rather than see like all this surface, so there's no surface on Vin's water. Like
it's just a big green mass.
Yeah. So I wanted to try and basically hide any of the ripples and stuff from the dinosaur's water Oh, that's interesting.
So the splash
and just
is the reveal.
bring up the levels. Yeah, so then have the keyframe the levels to come up.
Excellent. Would you maybe be able to do a slight extract on that leading edge there?
You know what? Extract might be what to do.
Because then you can soften that out.
Let me see. I'm actually going to go ahead and darken it here.
Love for Paddington in the chat.
Oh, you know what? Extract. That's what I should have done. You're so smart. Then I can keep it a normal layer and not additive.
There we go. So extract is a keying effect where you're keying out things by their luminance value. It's got a really cool visual interface too, because you can key out the white or key out the black and then adjust. And there's a little like rectangle up in the corner there, right under there. And you can clip the black or the white just like that. And then you can grab the bottom little edge and feather it out.
Oh, the bottom edge. I see.
Yeah, right there. So now it's making things semi-transparent when they're all the way dark. Get rid of turn the white value all the way back up. Your white point back to 2. No, it's not.
I didn't know it was down. Dang.
There you go.
I'm dumb. Let's see. This is golly, this is a whole hour and a half tutorial about how to make a dumb meme. And I'm teaching it, whereas you do this stuff on your phone.
It's exciting.
Let's see. I guess I just do this?
Yeah, you can key those over time if you'd like. Yeah, so what Seth was referring to is I used to be a big fan of TeamViewer, and now I am a fan of AnyDesk, which allow me to open up my desktop, which is a high-powered machine on my iPhone. And so I can remote in and test out stuff when I'm on the road, because there's nothing more fun than enjoying the great outdoors with a mobile phone and a very miniature After Effects.
I have an idea now too here I may not even need to do this extract thing I was doing, but it's worth trying. If I do some keyframing of this mask and then I do an unsharp mask on it, you follow me, or
there we go.
Do you not want to follow with me that direction?
Let's see. So we are almost at the tail end here of mashing together two properties that really are, soul sisters, the Fast and Furious movies and the Jurassic World universe. They're both housed over at Universal, and it is rumored through some flimsy something that they may share a combined universe. So we are trying to create an amazing GIF-worthy moment that will represent all the excitement and entertainment of the Fast and Furious Jurassic World crossover. I like where this is going. I'm loving it.
I'm not sure why unsharp mask gives me that yellow edge. It makes no sense to me.
I'm not sure. How about Magic Bullet Looks or Colorista, just dragging those colors into another color thing?
I'm going to definitely do that to try and match the... Am I still seeing Dinosaurs Original Water? I guess I should go ahead and just start doing some stuff here. Again, this didn't work, right? We tried it and it didn't work. It didn't really work.
What do we got there?
For Ven, I'm going to do some... one of these presets here. I just can't figure out. Not that one.
Ooh, there we go. Look at that.
Yeah, it's good if it doesn't happen on the car. You know, it might be a good idea. That car and stuff all exist together already.
Oh yeah, put the car behind him in Super Comp.
Or just do, oh, yeah, you're right. That's smarter. Hi, I'm Hashi, and this is my masterclass.
SuperComp is a compositing environment where the layers on top are aware of the layers below, which means if you're doing a light wrap or something, it's not just pulling it from the far background. It's also staying conscious of things like the car.
It's still happening. We're just going to do this.
Do it.
I'm going to do all the roto together. Bring it back in. And what was it? Translucent edges? Yeah, that's not the best, but it's not the worst. All right, I see this happening up here. And is that happening because of my unsharp mask trick? Yes, it is. So I'll just turn that off.
You know what? That's amazing to me right there.
Good enough for Twitter?
Great for Twitter. Throw that Twitter compression filter on top of it, and you got yourself a picture.
In the interest of moving on, I can't believe I spent that much time painting out that shark. I do want to go to the next shot. We got like 11 minutes. And why don't, Hashi, you want to wrap up while I do this? And if you're curious about what I'm doing, I can break it down for you.
Absolutely. Well, this has been an exciting episode of a very fun exercise, actually. A what if, a visual mashup of two exciting movies. And the best thing about this is that there's a language between action movies where they're filmed in similar ways to show scope and cool things like that. So we have two shots that have very similar camera angles that we were reminded of that seamlessly blend together like this, and also add they come to a great comedic head right here because of this. Looks like Seth is back there trekking.
Oh, wow! Look at that!
Oh my gosh! By the skin of your teeth. That's the unreal. Speeding toward the edge. That's some Captain Kirk in a stolen vehicle in a JJ movie.
As a child.
All right, so Seth is using a little point tracker right there to get the idea of this motion, and now he's going to cut out this mosasaur in the next 9 minutes and let it chomp our heroes.
I think it's going to work just fine.
This is going to work great. That's going to rotor brush like nothing.
I'm going to have to slow it down. So here's what I'm going to do.
So what do you do when you have to slow something down to not get it, have it looking all janky?
I do this. I do a little of this and a little of that. I'm going to pre-comp it real quick. I'm going to... Except when I do that, I'm actually going to turn off this adjust composition time span.
Ah, clever.
And... Huh?
Clever.
That's me. Time warp. Which is like... I used to use Twixtor back in the day, and then this kind of does it. So I'm going to go to the end and see what speed I can max out at and still get all of the... Right, so now it went away. So maybe if I go 69, 68, 66, 65.
And 65 million years ago.
Oh, 63. We're starting to see something.
Ooh. Now, why are you using time warp instead of just time remapping it?
It's going to interpolate all the frames in between the frames.
Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. So every frame has a new generated frame using an optical flow.
It's like buying a brand new LG TV, you know? It's going to give you brand new frames you didn't even know you wanted or needed.
It's beautiful, man.
And now I'm going to pre-comp that because time effects can really mess things up.
Yeah, once you start messing with time, you can get into some sticky situations, is what I've learned.
Like back to the okay.
Also universal property. Why?
Oh, true. Damn it! Now we have to bring Back to the Future into this.
So yeah,
or we're just making it way easier for Universal to sue us. Just consolidate all the lawsuits into one video,
Hey, this was transformative in the way that you know, things Transformers. Oh, they got the Transformers right over there too. But that's not a Universal film. Who makes the Transformers movies? Paramount? I don't know.
Paramount.
Paramount.
I hate that I knew that.
The first movie lot I worked on.
I love that lot.
Sus.
That lot has Ted Danson's and Woody Harrelson's hands and with the word naked in parentheses underneath their signature, because apparently they served real beer on the set of Cheers. And Woody Harrelson was dared to run around the lot naked, which I don't think you have to dare him to do that. I feel like...
Man, what a fine wine Woody Harrelson turned out to be, right?
What a fine wine.
And Ted Danson, I mean, wine. Yeah. I love that... Oh, so what do we got here? We've got...
well, I would love to refine edge these teeth. In fact, I'm just going to, because I can.
All right, the Refine Edge brush is this little tool right below the Roto Brush tool. And watch this magic. Seth is going to paint over the areas where there's these fine little teeth. And when he does that, After Effects is going to attempt to pull a luma mat of those fine details and track it along with the motion of the object. This has been remarkably invaluable for something like someone with soft hair or hair blowing in the wind or anything like that, or an animal that has fur on it. It's just using a high contrast pass within a very specific window to try to guess what is part of the mosasaur and what's not. And that is tracking through beautifully. We've got 5 minutes on the clock. Oh, and we've got...
Oh, we need... It's okay.
End screen coming up. Warning.
And
I have nothing against... who is that? Emmanuel? That's a video that it somehow algorithmically is it appears anytime you type After Effects anywhere near a computer. It bursts down the door and says, "Watch me next."
Freeze.
All right, freezing our final roto brush. Oh, Seth, I think you're going to pull this off.
Do we want to wrap up at all what we learned today while we finish out this shot?
It's like, do you want to finish hosting the show while I do the work over here, asshole? So, I didn't say that. So today we mostly practiced a handful of compositing techniques with pre-existing footage, which meant we didn't have anything separated into different elements, and it required doing things like creating rotomats using the new RotoBrush 2 feature. It's not even that new. It's out there. People are using it. It's a lovely tool. So we also learned a little bit about content-aware fill. And content-aware fill is exactly what it sounds like, but there's a video version that exists within After Effects. And we dove into the different properties that content-aware fill has, including the use of reference frames, which is basically like feeding the algorithm a couple of fake frames to propagate throughout the rest of the video, just to help it out a little bit. And as a pro tip, Photoshop is much better at content-aware filling still frames because it has all its wits about it when it's performing a fill, which I like. Seth was using Super Comp to use some lighting effects and techniques to blend in Vin and that car into that last shot, and also time warp in this shot to be able to lengthen the duration of this mosasaur clip, but create a unique frame on every frame using an optical flow system, which is really cool. So combine that with our our Refine Edge RotoBrush tool, and we've got a pretty lovely cocktail of ways to cut out things from things and place them in other things and make them look good with those things. Compositing, right? That's if we had to sum that all up
Yeah, I just saw a hole that is probably going to need to be filled. And when he
in your heart,
in my heart, I'm actually going to just do this dirty. Here we go.
Do it.
All right, and masky mask. No.
Wait.
No shape layer. No one ever wants a shape layer.
Right.
Learn me.
Who
anticipate
who
my
in the
needs.
chat uses shape layers? You can get the heck out.
Prototime moss. And
all right, we've got one more minute. And
okay.
Look at this. Look at this, everybody. We're gonna go just a second over because I'm dying to see this this come together. See this
scale is probably completely off here. We probably just made him way bigger than he actually is supposed to be.
Velociraptors weren't that big either. So we're in the Jurassic world now.
No.
Oh. It's like the
See if it lines up.
It's the crate dragon.
Oh. Awesome. So here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna paint this car and that stuff out.
How are you gonna do it?
I take the fast plate and then watch this fun thing. So let's go to right where it actually needs to chomp and disappear.
Beautiful. Stick with us. We're gonna pull this off.
Coming in here.
We're gonna pull this off right at the last moment.
I'm going to make sure I have a marker in the timeline so I know when it's supposed to happen. This is where things are going to disappear. I'm going to do this. Oh, come on. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the beginning, time, freeze frame, go to the middle.
Grabbing a plate right from within the footage itself.
Time, free. Oh, okay, hang on. Let me do this again. I'm going to go to the middle. I'm going to duplicate this twice.
I'm going to make our screen go weird for a second there. There, yeah.
Middle, bottom. And so the middle one, I'm going to freeze frame it. Hey, whoever's opening my door, you can stop doing that. Freeze frame.
Exciting. Our first guest stars on the program.
I know. Go to the beginning and freeze frame on the top one. Go to the bottom and go to the end. Time, freeze frame. And here's what I'm going to do. Now I've got these 3 frozen things. Let me go to composition settings. I'm going to make the height 3 times what it currently is.
3 times. Did you see that he just typed a math expression into the composition settings? Look at that.
Isn't that fun?
No need for math.
If I move this up here, I'm going to move the opacity to maybe 20%. And I'm going to try and line up. Oh, that's maybe too much. 50. I'm going to find where they line up.
Beautiful.
As best I can.
I always love that moment right before where the pixels start to crunch together.
Especially with this like rock structure, it's like the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, with the bridge like lining up, with the leap of faith.
That's a beautiful
bottom up
shot.
Here. Go to 50% on the bottom. Line that one up as best I can, which is gonna be right.
So while you do this intensive lining up, are you working on any other short films right now, Seth?
Short films? I am not. Am I? I don't remember.
Are you working on any? How about other projects? The kids in the chat love that Dino Feast.
Dino Feast. That was fun. Well, I'm working on this show. Red Giant, I am working on this show mainly, and then a couple like fun tutorials and stuff outside of Red Giant. I've got 2 podcasts in the works in addition to this. Those are fun. And
that is beautiful. If someone wanted to reach out to you after this show is over, how might they do that?
Just go to Seth at SethWorley.com. Hey, I forgot what I was doing. Let's see. Top. Okay. They're all lined up. So real quick, I'm going to parent top and bottom to middle. Just in case I moved middle at all, which I don't think I did. Hit reset. No, I didn't. Okay. So I want to, let's see. I need to paint out. Okay.
Just
here we go.
that little bit.
Yeah. So I'm going to grab it from the top. I'm going to turn off the visibility of the top layer, but keep it selected. And I'm going to draw a mask around where these guys need to be disappearing.
Clever.
And I turn top back on, and there it is. I might need to feather it a little bit to help sell it.
It's looking good.
So that's
Thank
there.
you for
and then
sticking with us, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
This is exciting, and this is worth it. We're gonna have a thing.
There's no cards visible, right? No, there's not. So
no, it's just whoever that is on that side. I think that's Paul.
I go back in here, and I've got this still now here, but it doesn't move. So basically what it does right now is it goes boop and stops. But if I start right here, where I pulled, again, that's where I freeze framed the middle part and used that. I'm going to parent it to the null object, and now it will move with the shot. So I'll put that underneath this guy, and now, well, something didn't look as good. Well,
ooh, I think if we oh yeah, so he's got the railing in front of his fin down there. So
there's that definitely, but I have a solution to that. Watch this. I can't. He's already parented to the null, so I could actually go into the keyframes.
Mm-hmm.
I can delete these keyframes. And I can go here and move it up a hair.
Oh, you can reframe because you got your virtual background now.
Yeah, go to keyframe interpolation, auto Bezier, whatever you want to say. So it's a little bit of a harsh movement. Todd Vaziri would not approve, but he's not here.
Reduce it by 50%.
I mean, all right, if I am going to have to. So I'm going to cover up all of my sins. I'll probably just do this. Layer, new adjustment layer. Transform. I'm going to apply transform and scale it up a bit.
Oh, I love how beautifully the rock textures and the mosasaur really just...
Oh, just you wait. Let's see. Come on, Super Comp. Be good to me. Effects.
All right, Seth is going to jump into Super Comp.
Super Comp, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Super Comp. Super Comp, Tennessee. Match background. Pa.
Look at that.
Look at that garbage. And now we could obviously do a lot of work with the edges and all of that, but man,
this is so satisfying. I feel like I get it.
It needs some cleanup for sure.
Yeah, but who doesn't?
You know what?
I think we just need some matte choking. Seth Worley needs to choke a matte.
What happens if I get rid of that? Just let this be what it wants to be.
Beautiful. All right.
I'm going to wrap it up. The next 5 minutes.
You fix that for a second. I'm going to show a little interstitial, which is right over here. This is a fun video that I made in 2015. This movie is that old? All right. Here's a fun, exciting video. Let's see here. Hey, buddy. This is my kid.
His kid.
Can I watch the new Jurassic Park movie? No, that's too old for you, I say.
Did you say I say in the video? It's too old for you, I say.
Okay, thank you.
Right. We're going to watch the old Batman because it's safe for kids.
Oh, I remember this. God, how much better is this going to look? Dang it, Hosh.
Oh.
That looks so good.
This was a mistake.
And you did that from your phone while parasailing?
Oh, we have fun. We have fun. All right, we're gonna, let's see. Let's head back over to After Effects and see what Super Comp's doing. Ooh, that looks like an edit preview comp.
It's at half resolution, but you know what isn't?
What isn't?
People still watching? God bless all of you.
Yes, all 220 of you.
I love it's thinking so hard for such a dumb thing.
Oh, look at that!
All right, so it got some reframing stuff to do. There's a lot of really rough edges, but man, we could
Look
with another
at
like
this.
hour of work. I feel like we could get this looking really
You know what?
solid.
You just need sound effects, and that would be the like 90% of it.
Oh well, this is not going to work. I'm going to be a monster and turn
let's see what
preview
happens.
on. Oh, I have to share sound.
Ooh, sharing sound. Okay, everyone get ready.
Here we go. Well. Oh, it didn't retime the sound.
See, I love that I clapped into the mic as you were playing the peaking sound file. We're professionals here.
We just killed everyone.
Amazing. Well, everybody, thank you very much for joining us for a slightly successful episode of VFX and Chill. I am Hashi. That is Seth Worley. And yeah, we're going to do this again every Friday. So come on by, bring us your suggestions, leave suggestions as comments to the video, and we appreciate all your participation. Go find us on all...
By suggestions, please, I just want to reiterate that. Please go into the comments and tell us what effects you want us to try on the show so we can do them.
Absolutely. Well, it's been fun, Seth. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. And we will see you all next week. I'll see you all next week. Take care.
See you guys.
Everybody.